And welcome back, everybody, to the main CBC podcast. Of course, we are here recently. I was going to say weekly, but it hasn't been weekly. We'll talk about that in a second. Of course, I'm your host, Armin. You guys can find me at Arminies and at Comic Book Cast, and I'm here with Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692.
So before we get into the main show, let's just kind of go over a few of the elements we're going to talk about. Of course, James Gunn, Disney and Fox, Dark Avengers, guys. Lots of Avengers 4 details getting out there, and the update to the Sony Spider-Verse. But before we get into all that, just a little bit of, housekeeping around here. We've been doing this on Twitch, but there's been a problem. Windows updates have screwed up a lot of stuff across the internet. You guys have probably seen some of the reports of things getting deleted and programs just uninstalling and crashing. I've sort of been hit with that, so we weren't able to do it that way this week, but we're going to try to fix that and get it right back in order for you guys. And then people will ask, oh, see? Doug's excited.
Doug, is it Doug, people? I apologize.
Talk about so we'll talk about why there hasn't been podcasts. Here we go. Essentially, as most of you know, if you follow me on social media, I do a lot of charity stuff and visits, and I go out of state a lot. So October landed on my 1 yearly vacation, which was a week out of country. And on top of that, I have about 13 events I have to go to, half those being charity and then local hospital visits and stuff. So it all crams up in October because, Halloween, so everybody wants to get in the spirit. So every year you can expect it like this, I would say October, but then once it gets closer to November, everything gets back to normal. So, don't worry, we haven't ditched a podcast or anything. So
No. Yeah. All the messages being like, have you stopped it? It's like, no, there's just stuff.
It's a coming.
It's just stuff. Me and Joe would have carried on, but Joe has some stuff. So
and also
just really unfortunate timing.
And not just that, other than really the Captain Marvel trailer, there wasn't really a whole lot up until this week, and now we're hit with actual topics. We're not scraping the bottom of the barrel. So.
Oh yeah, there's been a ton of news this week.
Right, so
especially comic book news. I think it will come out tomorrow, probably at some point. We'll be streaming today, but every time I look at the news, it's just another bit.
Oh yeah,
it's just it's can we stop?
No,
we just had New York Comic Con. Stop giving me news.
Right, and the TV side of things was moving forward, so that's what we're talking about. So it's going to pick up in the next couple months. We all know what's coming. We know the trailers and posters and stuff. So it's going to pick up once again. So I guess let's get into the show. We had a big old update on Kraven the Hunter, which is the movie coming out after Morbius for Sony's Marvel universe of characters, whatever they're calling it.
The Sunk.
The Sunk.
The Sunk.
So, Kraven is going to be based on Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yep. And it's going to be an origin movie. We're going to start off his origin with his last hunt. Makes sense.
Okay.
But Sony's going to Sony. Let's be honest. It's very... he's only got one big plotline people know. Let's do that for a start.
Mm-hmm. And even in these reports and what the writer even said, it's going to feature Spider-Man. Now, I've talked to two separate people that don't know each other. These are my Spidey contacts. One is the one that's been pretty much correct on everything I've talked about this year that a lot of other people have reported on, like the set visits, the Mysterio fighting in Prague, that we were going to see that and everything. I told people about that weeks ahead. He gave me the worrying news of that this ain't MCU Spidey, and this is going to be a new iteration of the character. So,
see, I'd be surprised if he actually does even show up.
Yeah.
Yes, they can want him in there, and yes, they can write him in there. Don't mean that Disney's going to let them have it in there. Yes, Sony still own the rights, but if they're under contract, they can't technically use him, surely. So,
what I've kind of been alluded to, now it's never been 100% told to me directly, so I can't, verify what the thing is that the Homecoming or Far From Home, the MCU Spidey films don't count towards the contract that Sony still has to put out Spider-Man movies. So think of it as, how Origins wasn't...
So they have to do a Spider-Man movie to keep the rights.
Exactly, and it has to be a live-action version of the character at some point within that 5 years that they have to put him out in. So that's what I was alluded to, and it makes me think it's they're going to have to at some point do something with him. So That's the big worrisome
But
here
then,
because it's like, Sony.
but then remember when Fox had like they were we're developing a Fantastic Four versus X-Men movie, and then Marvel was like, you can't do that. That's not part of your rights.
Right.
Plus, it won't count for you keeping the Fantastic Four because you're not making a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Would that count with that? Because it's not a Spider-Man movie; it's a Kraven movie.
Right. It's so weird.
Would that still let them keep the rights? I don't know. Of course, I'll never know. No one will ever know what's actually written on those apart from people that sign them. And obviously the thousands and millions of lawyers that look at it every day. But
yeah,
I'll be interested to see if that's the case or if it isn't.
I mean, it could be a scenario where, like, remember how X-Men Origins was coming at? It was just supposed to be called Wolverine Origins, but legally they had to slap the X-Men title on there to hang on to those, like, 3-year rights or whatever the revolving ones on X-Men were. So they're like, I guess you better slap on X-Men on there. Like, okay, it's like, it's probably something along those lines. So
it's going to be Spider-Man Kraven's last time. Starring Kraven featuring a small tidbit from Spider-Man.
It wouldn't surprise. Honestly, it's Sony. After seeing Venom, it would not. I would not put it past Avi Arad and Sony at all.
But then, like, it's really strange because why? Like, sure, do Kraven's last time. Just replace Spider-Man with Venom. It works, like, story-wise, it works better for what they're trying to set up than just having Spider-Man in there, but then not in Venom. The place that people wanted him in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I suppose at the same time, if he is actually going to be in this and they want him to be in it, that because there's that rumor that apparently the Kraven and Black Cat movies are going to be canon to the MCU.
Why not?
So I suppose that, like, throws that away, but...
Yeah, it's a weird scenario that they're in, and I mean, I think Kraven is a less Morbius, where Morbius can work without Spider-Man, but Kraven kind of inherently at some point, it feels like you need to have that run-in, so... Yeah,
it's also like, Morbius is... I don't think Morbius is going to be a movie that can make money, because who the hell knows Morbius? It's not a Venom situation. I think Kraven's even worse than that.
Yeah.
It's like Kraven doesn't really work. Like, if you're gonna take Kraven away from Spider-Man, he only kind of really works with Black Panther.
Yeah, and it's also, I will say, like, if both of these movies end up coming out and neither one, like, between Kraven or Morbius feature anything Spider-Man, I think Morbius will be the one that makes more money because vampires are easier to sell than dude in a leotard, a loincloth, wearing pelts in the jungle, like...
He has a lion's face for a chest.
Right, like, I think a vampire is easier to sell, specifically with someone like Jared Leto than, unless they're going to get, like, The Rock to play Kraven or something, then he's in the jungle, then he's going to make, like, $2 billion with ease, so...
I mean, let's be honest, the perfect Kraven's Aquaman right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately... No, I'd be fine with Jason Momoa as Kraven in the MCU, but nope.
Same.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
but I really don't know. I just don't understand why it's an origin and they're doing the Last Hunt. Like, surely doing an origin would be more effective.
I mean, do you think the people that are looking at Kraven's Last Hunt know what, like, it's the Lethal Protector thing where everybody was squawking, but Lethal Protector don't need Venom. It's a solo story. I was like, have you ever actually picked up the damn comic? Because
Spider-Man's on half the covers.
Yeah, like
he was in there.
He's integral to that. So what do you like?
Not that the movie really did the Lethal Protector, as far as I can remember.
Oh, not at all.
I know they just kind of said it, but not said it at the end of that movie. But
yeah, it was weird.
They'll probably do that in this at the end. It's like, this is my last hunt. It's like,
oh God.
Like knife and fork in the scenery, just like, my last one.
When I get out of here, there's gonna be a last hunt.
Oh no. God.
Oh.
End me now, please. It's like,
I mean, it gives the movie 10 out of 10 to scene chewing.
Just get me out of this timeline. I don't want to be in it.
Oh God. I don't know, like, I don't want to sound like we're just hating on it before it happens, but you can't do Kraven's Last Hunt as an origin story. Like, come on.
No.
Oh.
I don't think you can make a solo Kraven movie either. But they're sure as hell gonna maybe possibly try. After
Exactly.
the starting opening, I don't think they did try, but you know,
True.
they'll do something. That's for certain.
Yep. And something that'll happen. So we'll talk more about Kraven the
Oh,
moment we
oh,
know more, I guess. I mean, I don't
oh!
know.
No, they'll do something. There you go.
Oh,
That's really bad.
oh. So, to keep on the internet with the James Gunn, because we can't have a week without a James Gunn story, he's been hired to write and possibly direct Suicide Squad 2.
Now, is this his punishment or is this like his own choice?
Um, so here's the
Uh,
thing. This is the smartest move Warner Brothers could have done.
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Like, Marvel and Disney majorly effed up when they chose to fire him as a reaction to bullying. And Warner Brothers stepping in and doing this, and I have no doubt that he's going to direct this as well.
Oh yeah,
And,
absolutely,
dude,
absolutely.
this just screams of him like, all right, well, you guys lost me, and wait till you see what I'm going to do over here. And like, and don't forget, he was the one that was building the future of the MCU, the whole cosmic thing. He was going to be placing the pieces. Guardians 3 was supposed to be like a big build up to this. He's going to go over now and like do that for DC. Like, that's
Let's not forget also, like he was apparently attached to a Thunderbolts movie.
Yep.
So the irony that he's now doing Suicide Squad. But,
Yeah.
um, I think it's smart, and also like apparently it might not be a sequel. Most of the cast might not return, if any of them. So it's more than likely going to be like a reimagining / reboot of Suicide Squad, and they start taking it in a different direction. But
Well, I mean,
it's funny that the movie that essentially influenced Suicide Squad's marketing was the one that he done, and now he's doing that movie.
Yep. Warner Brothers is playing the smart get because Marvel's major loss is their major gain, and he has that voice, and they tried to mimic him, and they couldn't. And now it's like, well, now you got this perfect outlet.
Yep.
And his ideas, it's such a smart move, and like honestly, if he's on there, if he's already starting, I feel like you're gonna. It's a couple years till we actually see this movie fully materialize, and I feel like it's gonna be by then everything will have blown over. Guardians is gonna come out, and I'm in that like stage right now where I'm like, unless they give Guardians to one of like the Russo brothers who can clearly mimic his style, because they did it with Infinity War with his kind of like a voice in there.
But with Infinity War, they did have him as a consultant.
Exactly. So it's like,
I mean, they're looking at directors right now. They've got their own little super secret shortlist. Like they're talking to people, they're offering it to people. Like, I'll be surprised if this comes out at the same time. But at the same time, I kind of hope they do, because that'd be funny.
That would be interesting as hell.
Just James Gunn Marvel, James Gunn DC. Even though I wouldn't be surprised if Suicide Squad ends up feeling like Guardians, like a little ragtag team of misfits, like kind of doing bad stuff, kind of doing good stuff for reasons to get a big MacGuffin, probably. But...
Oh yeah, totally. Like, and here's my feeling now. I feel like there's gonna be this thing where New Gods is in development over at DC. I feel like we could have that scenario where he's gonna suddenly become like the Kevin Feige, where they're like, "Hey, you want to oversee our entire universe? You want to take on New Gods, kind of Eternals? Huh? Do this." It's like, oh damn.
Just make us Marvel, yeah. Make us, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. I don't care as long as I get good movies. I'm fine. No.
If Aquaman and Shazam are as good as they look, and if Wonder Woman is on par with the first one or better, and then he's developing a new Suicide Squad and Eternals comes out and has his guidance, we're looking at a very, very like competent new direction for the DCU that could actually be the rival to Marvel finally. It's like, oh damn, like that's it. That's awesome. That's exciting.
It's like, I hope for both Gunn's sake and ours, like as the audience and fans, that he doesn't just make it like Guardians and have the same thing. It's like he's got the Suicide Squad. If they can stick with the R rating, I doubt they will. It'll probably be PG-13, but you can't like Disney had him on like you have to follow these rules and it has to be this and that. You can't do this and you can't do that. If they can give Gunn the freedom, like get a bit of like the Slither gun in there and all that, like more of his old style of stuff, like you got a really interesting movie on your hands.
Oh yeah.
Mix up the cast entirely. Like Jared Leto's not going to be in this movie because
oh hell no,
pedophile shame, but it's like get rid of Deadshot, get rid of Harley, get rid of everyone, and just bring in new characters. It's the Suicide Squad. It's the perfect it's the easiest way to do that because it's kind of what the team's built for.
Exactly.
Maybe get like if Black Manta survives Aquaman, get him in there. If Cheetah survives Wonder Woman, get her in there.
That'd be
that's
great.
Kind of more like the Legion of Doom at the minute, but just do it.
Ain't nobody gonna complain as long as the movie's good. So
like if he does take his time, it's like right, I want these characters in these movies, set them up for me now. Like here's how I want them to be, and like where I need them to end up to get to this point.
Right.
Like, I'm fine with that. Like take your time, make a good movie. No, because this one movie could literally just help everything.
I honestly think it will. Like James Gunn is very talented. Like Disney really screwed up on this one. Like I would imagine, and there's been conspiracies out there. Is this some sort of like power play or something on his end? I think he just wants a new job.
I mean, yeah, the man's got to eat. Like,
yeah.
But Warner Brothers wanted him before anyway.
Yes, they did.
They just had the opportunity to get it, and Gunn's not going to turn that down. Why would he?
Exactly.
But it's not like he did something horrifically horrible. He just tweeted some things horrifically horrible.
Yeah.
And it's just like people talking about, oh, we need to have this comeback conversation. It's like, really? No, I don't think you do. But it's whatever. The question is, is Bautista going to play everyone on the Suicide Squad?
Well, the moment it was announced, it's like, Batista's King Shark. I was like, well, I guess.
Oh, Batista is King Shark.
I could see that, right? Like
a lot of people are saying Bane, but it's like, can we actually is Batista's? Oh, what's his like? He's not like white, is he? Or is he?
He's very tan, if that makes sense.
Oh, sorry, T-Man, got you. It's like, get someone who's Hispanic to play Bane.
No, I'm telling you right now, I want the same Oscar-winning makeup and effects that went into freaking Killer Croc's ginormous head that didn't fit on his body with a giant shark face on Batista's body. That's what I want, Mitch. That's what I need.
Basically, you want the Street Sharks live-action movie.
You know what? Yes, make that part of DCEU and let James Gunn do Street Sharks with Batista playing all of them. I will pay good money for this.
I was gonna say I want that movie now. That show was terrible, but I want it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He could probably play Bane. I mean, Tom Hardy played Bane.
Yeah,
and he's British, so whatever.
He is very British, but nah, like just say Drax dies in Avengers 4. They're still filming the ending, so you can like easily change something there, and just bring Batista over here.
Oh, I guarantee.
So I like how they work together.
Yeah.
Like, just don't make him Drax. Like, maybe let Batista do something different.
Right.
No,
yeah.
A bit like how he was in Blade Runner or something. Like, let him show his chops a little bit.
Yeah,
So he has got.
Yeah, he does. And I personally want him to be spitting out like shark puns all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah, and he's just like, they're like, what's the plan? He's like, I'm gonna take a bite out of it.
What's up, chum?
Yeah.
Chum. It's just chum.
And when he's like facing someone, like I don't know who Suicide Squad's gonna face, but he's like, you're Finn-ished. Like I want.
Can we get
like
Black Adam as the villain? I know it's essentially Suicide Squad 1 with Enchantress again, but
look, The Rock is busy in a jungle somewhere shooting 17 jungle films. So unless the movie takes place in a jungle, I don't see this happening.
I mean, why not have Black Adam's place be a jungle now?
Kondak is a jungle, sure.
You've changed enough. They changed enough from the comics, so why not?
True. But yeah,
I just want Batista versus The Rock.
oh my God, it's like that one.
Actually, no, perfect. I'm jumping ahead slightly. Batista plays Black Adam, right? You let The Rock go because you've had him for 11, 12 years now, and you've done absolutely fucking nothing with him. Bring The Rock over to Marvel so he can play Ares in a future movie we're going to be talking about very soon.
Perfect. Yeah, actually, yes, that would be that'd be great. So
everyone's having.
When everything shakes out with this, I'm assuming the next couple months we're really going to find out more about James Gunn and his future. Yeah. So we'll get back to you guys on that, but make sure you let us know your thoughts on this down. Well, looks like the end game is in sight, Mitch, because Fox is coming home, I guess, to Disney.
Oh, is Fox coming home? Yeah.
They're coming home. Most of the franchises, the ones we care about, are going home. So I'm just saying all of it's coming home.
I like you can tell I made everything yesterday before this actually really came out. It's like, it could be done by the end of the year. Now it's like January 1st. It's like, well, fuck you. Can we just do it December 31st so that means I was right all along?
I mean, people are hard at understanding what's going to happen. No matter what, Disney has made the most profit this year, right? They're a huge profitable studio. And let's just hypothetically say Disney this year makes $10 billion worth of profit. When the fiscal year is over, they're going to be in a major negative because of the purchase. So every single YouTuber, every single website that has a thing against Disney, every single Randolph out there is going to point out how Disney is finally failing and the comic book industry is crashing. But they're not going to tell you the fact that they spend $80 billion and they only made 10 to buy the studio. If they complete it by the end of the year, they can get that fiscal report out and warn people about it. The reports are still going to come out, and they're going to be hugely negative to paint this picture of things that don't exist, but they're going to complete this by March. I was told by March is the final date, that fiscal year ending, and now with this news by January 1st, the moment they lost Sky, everything jump-started by 9 months advancement. So,
Yeah, the whole Sky thing made me sad.
Yeah.
It's just I've got Comcast now. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there was a joint decision between Disney and Fox, that whole thing. So clearly Sky wasn't that important to them, but it was important to me, damn it. I don't want my TV fucking up now.
You're about to get real bad internet service. Get ready for it.
I've already got real bad internet service.
Oh, it's going to get worse.
Fucking the service box for my internet is only 500 meters away from my house, and it's 20 megabits a second. It's just oh
man. Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing, this deal completing. On one side, the Sky thing, bad, but on the other side, come January 1st, Kevin Feige walks into the office on January 2nd. He could literally be
Vince McMahon.
Right, Vince McMahon, as our buddy Nick from Hybrid pointed out, he could literally walk in there being Russo, Wolverine, work on it. It's oh shit, dude, that's exciting.
Here's the thing. Would they give the Russos a break, or are they going to work them dead?
Look, let me be real. Have you ever seen The Ten Commandments, the movie?
I think I might have done years ago.
Okay, when the Pharaoh is whipping them to build the pyramid and he doesn't stop, I picture Kevin's going to be like that with the Russos, with the X-Men, because I don't know how many times in the last 6 years, every time they're interviewed, they're like, Wolverine's our favorite, we want to do Wolverine, but we can't because Fox owns them. They're literally months away from getting Wolverine back. There's no way that the Russos say no. No.
And let's just say, it's not a bad whipping; it's a kink whip.
Oh yeah, no. This is
they clearly love it. They're there for it's a good exchange. They make the movies for Feige. Feige gives them the kink whip.
Yeah,
it's a win-win.
This is the most winning scenario that Disney and Fox could want. And not only that, as I've said before, when they got okayed, it was made well known that Kevin Feige can already start making some plans because it's more or less official. The moment this completes and it's 100%, on that day. The next day they can start working on it. So,
Yeah.
like, after Disney got Spider-Man with that shared, whole concept, it took a year, and we knew who, was going to be directing the next Spider-Man movie, and it took like a year and 4 months, and they were in front of cameras. Disney is going to move fast on this. So, like, it's...
I'd say, like, if you look at how they handle Spider-Man, like, they got his movie out really quick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they took, like, a fair while casting the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Holland's casting took a fair chunk of time. So I imagine they'll probably, like, they must have something for the X-Men.
So,
I reckon they must have had something for Spider-Man, because that was way too quick.
I looked it up right now just to make sure I got the date right. Spider-Man officially joins the Marvel Cinematic Universe, announced on February 9th of 2015. Summer of 2017, we had his movie, which was in production a year after this announcement was made. So they're going to work like triple time to get X-Men out there. It's huge,
It's like a year and they had the script and everything done. Like, they've got something.
Yeah.
They must have. Like, people will say, no, they don't, they can't work on it. It's like, no, people don't know about it. You just don't call it an X-Men script. So you just go in and change all the names. Like, can't do you for that.
So looking right now, it was end of June, early July of 2015. So about 3 to 4 months that it took to cast Tom Holland and announce the next Spider-Man movie. So
and that's a long time to cast someone.
Yep.
Like, casting doesn't normally take that long. Not ever. No, we the whole Birds of Prey thing recently, you heard that they were going to start it, and then like a week and a half later, you had, what's her name? Winstead, and I can't think of the other actress' name. What's her name? Journey or something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember the two actresses. Yeah.
Where they did the weird thing where it was going to whitewash the one and then you're going to make the white character black, and it's just like, why not do it the other way around? But that's whatever. But
I mean, and if you just look at previous interviews with the Russo brothers and Kevin Feige, Anthony Russo specifically said, and this was like right around Infinity War during an interview when they were outright asked, during one of those open interviews, with the X-Men and everything coming, and you guys talk about Wolverine, what do you guys have planned? And they openly both said, we already have casting ideas, and we can't wait to share them with you, because they're gonna, start a conversation. I'm like, I think they already probably... If they haven't tested for Wolverine, they've tested for anonymous roles, and they probably have a pretty solid idea on who's going to be the Wolverine.
It's like... Guaranteed, Feige's office. We've all seen it in that article where he's got all the weird stuff. Like one of those little toys on his desk. You move that, the wall spins and it's got the X-Men on it. So the lawyers can't see it. It's just like, oh no, I'm not working on nothing. See, it's all Marvel. It's all we own. And it's like, it's all X-Men characters. Like, that's clearly how it happens. Like their massive idea board just spins around and it's the X-Men. This is where they fit. But yeah, I just hope they cast like Holland's age for like the main. But I don't know how they're going to handle the X-Men at all.
True. So let's talk about this in this conversation as well. We'll kind of spin it into a second part. With the X-Men Fantastic Four coming, do you think that they do Fantastic Four first, or do they sit on that a little bit, or do they introduce the characters like Civil War style? Because that's my idea. It's like you introduce these characters in other movies and then spin them off if there's a good response,
If everything's going to be done by the end of this year, the start of next year, you still have New Mutants and Dark Phoenix coming out.
Yep. And,
Disney's still going to want the money from those movies, because it ain't going to be a lot, but it's going to be something. So I'd say they 100% go Fantastic Four first. It would have been, nearly 5 years since the last one at that point. People have moved on and forgotten about it. You can introduce them in some way. The X-Men, personally, I'd wait till after Eternals, because that's your setup.
Yep.
It's how the comics did it. It's how they can easily do it. It's not difficult. And you just get Wanda and be like, oh, you're so scared of me. Everyone had powers and no one's scared of me now. There you go. You got introduction to X-Men.
Yeah, that's true.
And that way you can have like older characters like Charles and Magneto. They can be their right age. Wolverine can be. I don't know how you quite handle Wolverine that way because it doesn't add up. But you can something.
Realistically, to me, the way I'm looking at it is one movie in 2019 or in 2020 is going to have cameos. And it's going to be like a Black Panther, Spider-Man style role. We don't know what it is. And
if they don't introduce Storm in Black Panther 2, I'll be surprised.
Same. Yup.
It's the perfect spot. You can have her be the goddess, just don't give her the powers straight away. Wait, like if the Eternals movie comes out before that, fine. You can maybe do the powers. If not, just have her character there. Have her still be the goddess of wherever she's from. I can't remember right now. And then, just put her in there. Just push that T'Challa thing with her, and then when everything kicks off, she's Storm. She has the powers. Done.
Yep.
Like people want to make a big like song and dance about how to introduce them. It's really simple.
I mean,
like, you just do it that way.
Really would love it if she was there, and then like at the end of Black Panther, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna do the exchange program, and you're gonna go teach at one of our little more obscure facilities upstate New York." And he's like, "Where am I getting sent?" It's like, "Oh, you're getting sent to this institute." It's like, oh, I see what they're doing. Like,
That's one way. That's one way to do it. Like, it's just like, you just don't need to overthink everything. Just make it all nice and simple.
Right. Simplistic so people understand where you're going. It doesn't need to be too complex or convoluted. It's like, no, just drop the little hints in there. And
especially when you've got people like Apocalypse that they'll no doubt want to redo. So, like, save the convolution for those people.
I mean, it's not like Apocalypse has ever been in a movie, so yeah, you want to do it correct.
Oh, no, that was Sandman, wasn't it? Yeah.
So
it was weird that Sandman was in an X-Men movie.
I mean, they did what they could, but they didn't clearly look at the character's history, so typical.
It was blue.
Yeah. Taking liberties with characters. I mean, and that's the thing. I honestly feel like the first hint we see of anything is going to be one of those Marvel movies. We're going to see the Baxter Building somewhere in New York. Like, that's...
Oh, yeah.
That's going to happen. Even before anybody gets cast as any of them, so...
Can we just have the Baxter Building first appear in the Netflix show, just for the shits and gigs of it? Like, look, there's this building being made. Like, look at that one, and then done.
Jeff Loeb finally thanking Papa Feige for giving him something.
And then Feige's like, nope, different building. Like, I was so sure. No. Like, those two are clearly working together more, because the whole Loki and Scarlet Witch thing.
Oh, totally. Now... let's talk about that for a second, because I've heard some people say maybe instead of bringing the X-Men as a film series, which I have no doubt they will, could they possibly do like one of those 6 to 8 episode expensive TV series? Because that would be pretty amazing as well.
I mean, absolutely.
I mean, I personally feel like you would probably want to have them as a film, so you could do Avengers versus X-Men or something along those lines.
Oh yeah, we'll get AVX. That's a no-brainer. It'll be nothing like the comic because trash.
So that was garbage.
It's like, Iron Man beat Magneto. No, but yeah, that will come at some point. But I don't know. It'll be an interesting way to do it if they did introduce them on the streaming service first. That's also a good way to bolster up your subs for that thing as well.
Exactly.
It's like, look, this is going to be important. You need to watch this.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe...
But again, like, maybe that's why the Wanders Scarlet Witch is getting the show, because they kickstarted in that.
True.
And maybe that's where it all starts. And like it starts off with her doing that, because something happens in, I don't know, Avengers 4.
Yeah.
And then, like, the whole thing is just her, like, everyone being pissed off because like, I'm a freak like you. But...
And also, Fantastic Four, I think, could make a good, like, expensive TV series, but...
I mean, like, it's the thing with comics, isn't it? They're serialized anyway, so anything could make the way Disney doing it, make a really good TV series, but it's, like... Fantastic Four probably are more suited, because the whole, like, Star Trek style of, like, Avengers and all thing, but...
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it, so it's like...
It's like let's get them a good movie first.
Yeah.
If anything, they're owed at least that. Like even if it's
True.
just one, like just get them a good movie, and then if you don't do well, you've got a streaming service to back yourself up.
Right. Well, I guess the good news is, by the time the press tours and junkets start for Avengers 4, these characters will all be acquired. So they're going to start dropping hints. So in the next couple months, expect major updates, guys, and we'll be talking more about them, I guess.
Can we just say before we finish this bit, like, they're not going to be in Avengers 4.
No.
Like, there's no way. Like, just don't even think that thought. Like, just if you're thinking it, slap yourself and get rid of it, because like it's never going to happen. Like, they have their movie they're going to tell. There's already too much going on in that movie. It's not the time or the place. It's the service to the characters, to the movie. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Just don't think about it.
Hey, the future of the Avengers could be going a little bit more dark, if you will, with the Dark Avengers, huh?
Oh,
yeah.
Right. I've got a bone to pick with you. Right. You said they're the Suicide Squad of Marvel.
I mean,
they're not.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
If anything, they're the Legion. If they're more the Legion of Doom.
You know,
Not quite.
Okay.
Not quite Legion of Doom. I only called you out on it because Discord's like, oh, I mean, you said it. It's like, I mean, it's wrong.
Yeah, you know what? I'll man up to that one. I was wrong on that. Yeah, Legion would be more appropriate because Lex Luthor and Norman Osborn. Yeah.
No, it's just like, oh, we're the villains of the people we're impersonating. Like, it's not quite. It's not the exact same as the Legion of Doom.
I mean, so here's how it goes with me with comics. I fell out when high school and stuff, and I wasn't too much into it. I just didn't have time. I kept up a little bit. Civil War started to bring me back around. Secret Invasion was like, oh, I really like this. Maybe I should look back into it. But it wasn't until my friend, who was at the time working at GameStop, he was the manager. Like, I came in to pick up a game. He goes, "Oh, you like comics?" Right? I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I haven't really kept up with them too much. And he goes, "So, check this out. I know you like Norman Osborn. He's now playing this character called Iron Patriot, and he's like leading an evil Avengers team." I was like, okay. And then I just went out, picked up, anything I could that ties it in. So, like, I'm real excited if this movie happens.
I think it, like, if you look at how the movies have gone, they're in that mid-2000s era.
Yeah.
And, like, everything they're doing is following on from that. Like, Spider-Man Homecoming's clearly Ultimate Spider-Man, which is, like, the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
You've had Civil War, you got this. Like, the only thing is Infinity War, but that's neither here nor there. So, like, I think the Dark Reign era, and, like, once we get Dark Avengers out of the way, then, like, AVX is the next thing after that. Because I can see this being Phase 4.
Oh, like, so let's talk about it this way quickly. Do you think they do a then secret invasion that leads into this, like the comics, or do you think they just jump straight into it some other way?
I don't know about Secret Invasion. I forgot about that. Because with this, you could quite easily spin it off from Infinity War or Avengers 4. And it's like, oh, like, they all did this, they're all dead if they die, because there's a rumor that only 2 survive of the original 6. So Norman steps in, takes over S.H.I.E.L.D., if there is a S.H.I.E.L.D., or whatever he has, and then brings together his Avengers that look like the ones we've had, because he wants the public opinion on his side. Mm-hmm. That's my theory. So it's like, we got Minerva in Captain Marvel. We know a little bit about her. She's jealous of Kara and all that, so she's the Captain Marvel of the Dark Avengers. Ares, you could bring in Eternals, do it that way. Like, you can just cherry pick from all over and then have this as like the big final. But
yeah, I think there's a lot that, like, they want to push forward with this, and I think Dark Avengers, just inherently the look of that movie would look different to attract eyes. And they said the Avengers brand is like the only one that's going to keep going. That's never going anywhere. That name is so powerful. So if you're doing like Young Avengers, New Avengers, Dark Avengers, that's enough to separate yourself from the core Avengers brands, which is what I think they want to do. I think we're done getting core Avengers films, if that makes sense, because like that's ending with Avengers 4. That era is kind of being left behind.
Hmm.
You know, we're moving into like a new era.
Which you can perfectly tie that into this.
Mm-hmm.
You go, right, there's going to be no more Avengers films, but you're going to have their each individual movies in Phase 4. And then your next Avengers movie is Dark Avengers. And you can, like, the frustration that characters in the movie are going to have, the audience can kind of have as well.
Yep.
It's like, well, where's my Avengers? Like, these aren't the ones, like no, you're bad guys. Like, you can kind of play it off that way.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, you set it up in a completely different way.
True.
Like, no, it's just you've had 10 years of it being this way. We're now going to do the reverse of that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, the reverse, you could say, is kind of lazy, but it's something we haven't had.
Right. And it would work. So,
yeah.
I mean, I have no doubt it'll work. It's Marvel Studios, so why not?
No, like, you imagine if you have an Avengers trailer, but it's all bad guys. It's just like, well, they aren't, like, people are upset with Infinity War because they just dusted everyone you've ever cared about. Like, imagine people are going to feel like with that. It's just like, but not my Avengers, like, bring them back. It's like, and then you get that big, like, uproar moment.
Do you think it could possibly be the first time we actually see a crossover? Because I feel like if you're going to have a Hawkeye or something, come on, Bullseye. Like, you're setting them up in Daredevil right now.
I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised. We've said that there's something going on with the TV and the studio side. 2019, if it does happen, it's going to be when it happens, like when the Disney Fox stuff is done as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're getting Marvel TV shows on the Disney service, which is, they've said, is canon to the movies,
yep,
like everything else is. So why not? Unless Bullseye dies in Daredevil season 3, like, I think they'd be stupid to do that.
Same.
Like, Netflix have got their own plans, just pick up Bullseye and just drop him in here.
God, that would be amazing. Imagine how much of a nice kickback that would have back to Daredevil. Like,
yeah.
Netflix could be smart to want to do that with ABC and, Marvel, so.
Because it's not like there's any Hawkeye villains in the movie, so.
Yeah.
Perfect way to set it up, have a Hawkeye show on the streaming service where he fights Bullseye.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
And have that before this movie comes out, and you got the perfect, like, segue to it. Not just, oh, I'm the Daredevil villain.
Right.
It's like, I also fought Hawkeye, and I'm taking Hawkeye's spot on here because why wouldn't I?
Exactly. My God. Starting to water at the mouth just thinking of those possibilities. Sounded so good.
Like, we said it so many times before, like, they could literally at this point do anything.
Oh, I think...
but recently you could tell where they're going because we've known where they're going. At this point, we don't.
My feeling is next year, end of summer, when they officially do that D23 announcement, because that's when it's most likely the scenario where they're going to announce the future, if not San Diego Comic-Con. When Kevin Feige shows up like the next 12 projects they're doing, and it involves like 3 TV series, and like an Avengers movie, and the female-led crossover, and like sequels, I think we're going to be looking at like this giant web of intricate connecting pieces he's going to pop up. It's like, all right, here's how everything goes for the next 5 years, guys. And we're just all like sitting there like sweating, like trying to figure out how do you get to that end spot, which is going to be like, Dark Avengers, blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh God, I can't even handle this right now,
It's going to be like, how am I supposed to earn a living? Like, there's too much. Like, no. Yeah. I have a job to do, Marvel. Stop.
Oh, God damn. I mean, I'm excited. I think that's what people should take away from our convo. We're both real excited by this.
Especially that era of Marvel. It's kind of infamous for being one of their best. So,
in my mind, it is their best. Yeah. So, I can't wait.
It's a shame that something I want's probably not going to happen now because of certain things that regarding what we're going to talk about. But oh well.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that'll end it on Dark Avengers, and hopefully this is one of those scripts that goes into development, so...
I bet it will.
Brand new Avengers 4 details, leaks, image leaks, whatever you will, we got them, so let's talk about them.
You want them, we got them.
Whew, those white suits, man.
Very Bendis Guardians. If you look at Gamora and Rocket in his run, they're virtually identical.
That's true. Yeah.
Virtually identical. A lot of people are obviously pointing to the Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yep.
episode where they're all in space, which I mean gives no. You can kind of see how the possible title plays into that and what they're taking from the comics.
But how about also the little thing that's on the box art that says "New Foes"? So it's not just Thanos.
I didn't actually read it.
Oh yeah, no. There's a brand new foe that's going to be introduced.
See now, right? That makes sense. We guaranteed a 5-year time jump.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least a time jump. We knew there was going to be some form of time jump because they cast Cassie Lang. Or they recast an older Cassie Lang. So we know there's some form of time skip. We know time is important to this movie. Obviously, we saw the set photos where Stark and that man are back in time to Avengers 1, so time's going to be a factor in this.
Yeah.
And it's like it seems to be the consistent beat for everything that's come out about this movie. So if we see them like to give Infinity, like the end of Infinity War, wait a time jump and seeing them go against someone makes perfect sense. Because it's just like if you just started the next day, there's no wait to Infinity War.
Exactly, and
so if we see what they're doing their day to day now and how like they're trying to get everything back or just trying to carry on with their lives, new villains. Makes sense.
That's like the thing I want them to explore, and I think they will. It picks up 5 years after, right? What has transpired in these 5 years? You know, like how has Earth moved along? Like in my mind, I feel like there's going to be people that are worshiping Thanos, being like, "I was spared by the gods." You know, like I want to see that type of mentality and like what's happened to Earth, and then you introduce a new villain. Maybe they're fighting them at the start of the movie. And they defeat them 45 minutes in, and then Thanos comes back like, "This is our ultimate plan." But you know,
say just Age of Ultron it. Just have like the first 10, maybe 20 minutes be a new villain and done.
Yep.
No, it's literally the perfect time to have that sort of a scene. Like, look, this is where they are. This is how the world works now. This is how they work. This is how absolutely batshit insane Tony Stark's gotten because everything he's been worrying about for the last 6 years happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're all wearing white suits.
You know, I'm glad you brought back, Age of Ultron as a kind of a mention because I feel that movie, once we wrap up Avengers 4, we're going to look back on it being like, have you all noticed all these little pieces of things that end up being like Scarlet Witch's visions and all that? Like, I feel that's going to have a lot more meaning by the time Avengers 4 is over.
Why do you say that? Because she does say the quotation leaked title in that movie. She does tell Vision that she sees Annihilation in his head.
Right.
Is apparently the title. Which, there's a hell of a story around that title.
True.
It's just like, oh, it's Annihilation. It's like, Ruffalo's going to confirm it, but Ruffalo said The Last Avenger, but they bleeped it out. No.
Yep.
Like, is it the title? Is it not? And it's just like, if it is the title, they lost the power, but they instantly got the power back. Because you can't confirm or debunk that it's Annihilation at this point.
That's true, yeah.
But let's just say, for the shits and gigs, it is. Like, that they trolled everyone just to get the power back for the marketing because they haven't got to do this.
No, not at all.
I don't know why they're like really doing it, but it's just free marketing, like you always say. But no, the fact that there's no title on the toys, so it also kind of lends me to believe that like they are playing a little troll game here.
Like I've told people, imagine it's the weekend of New York Comic Con. Aquaman trailer just dropped. You're not even there, but the simple idea that the title might leak was trending ahead of all the official releases at New York Comic Con. They got us by the balls so good that they don't even have to show up, and one of their actors just has to tweet something, and they'll be trending for 48 hours. Like, that is marketing. Like, that's what you want, you know?
Like, that wasn't even planned.
Yeah.
There's no way that's planned. Like, what was it? MCU Cosmic, Jeremy Conrad, Manabite on Twitter. Like, he's like, oh yeah, Annihilation. Like, that's the title. And it's like, they're going like shit. Like, because it was all the next day.
Right.
And they filmed, was he on Fallon? Is that the show he was on?
Yeah, they filmed it like that morning.
Yeah. And it's like, I think they film it morning, afternoon time. I'm not sure which. And it's like, and then he tweets that out, and that's on really late at night. So why would they ever have the title reveal then?
Mm-hmm.
They don't do stuff on a rival network
Exactly.
middle of the night, so it gives credence to the leak that is Annihilation,
Right.
personally anyway. But but then with the toys, there's no title on there, so they could, if they want, they could just change it. Because even if it has got out and it was supposed to be Annihilation, at this point I can just go, well, there's no proof.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Change it to this. But a lot of people are confused why it's called Annihilation, because obviously there's the event Annihilation with the Guardians and Nova and Annihilation Wave. It's obviously going to be nothing like that. But
nothing.
if you look at the what if Annihilation Wave hit Earth, that ends in a very interesting way that fits perfectly with this movie. Because it's Tony and Cap making up over Civil War, which they haven't done yet in the movies. And they have a last stand on the moon, and it looks like they have spacesuits from that toy leak.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is take out Nova from the comic and put in Thor, and you have the big three ending on the moon.
Mitch, you just made me depressed, because if we would have had a goddamn Inhumans movie, they would have been at the stupid front lines. God damn it!
Because spoilers, the Inhumans play a massive part in that what if storyline as well, because they're the ones that get Annihilus on the moon.
I'm done this podcast. I'm just gonna cry in my pillow for the rest of the day. Now
I saw that title and I was like, hold on, no, it's not going to be the usual in the box thinking. It's going to be from that what if. It's just like, oh no. No, that's what I think. I think that's what's going to happen.
I mean, it'd be a smart choice. You know,
if the title is called Annihilation, that's exactly why it's called Annihilation, because it's from that what if, not the actual event.
Yeah, that would honestly be pretty cool, and I honestly like that title. Like,
it's a good title. It wasn't Annihilation actually means like the conversion of matter into energy, or energy into matter, or something like that, which it makes sense because you're bringing like. Have you seen the lineup of Infinity War and the Ant-Man post-credit scene? Where the snap happens and then all the orange dots.
It's perfect.
So it's kind of like, that's too coincidental for me. So I think everyone is in the quantum realm as just energy. You can't destroy or create matter or energy, whatever it is, which one. So you just displace it and put it in the quantum realm. So energy, matter, annihilation. As if it is that title, but
true. Well, like we said, they could change it at any point, but I feel like it's a pretty good title.
It's a really good title. So again, it's also another 2000s title. So.
Yeah. So rest assured, guys, in the next 2 months, we will officially have our teaser, and we will know the name, and probably have our first look at the poster. So it's only a matter of time, guys. It's happening. Like, they can't possibly delay it, anymore.
No. When was the Infinity War?
Right around this time, right around November.
29th of November. So, for everyone who's just going on every Marvel Twitter video on YouTube and Facebook or wherever going, where's my trailer? You know exactly what your trailer is.
Yep, November 29th. So line it up with stuff that's coming out in November and December, and think about how many big movies are coming and where you want to attach it. Just think for a second. You could probably paint the picture on there.
I wonder what Disney movie they'd want an Avengers trailer to be attached to. It might be a sequel to a very classic one. Starring someone who should have been Black Widow. But I wonder where it's going to be.
So, we'll be back with more Avengers 4 talk rather soon. This brings us to the podcast Endgame.
Oh, that one hurt.
See what I did there? That took no...
that was bad.
That was real bad.
That was bad.
Oh.
That was bad than my sunk.
The people should be happy. They have the podcasts. They have a podcast.
They got a lot.
Yeah, they do. We recorded 2 podcasts for you guys. That's how dedicated we are.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I feel like it was a good show. We covered various topics, even a DCEU topic. So what do you know? That's pretty good.
I almost put the Aquaman footage thing in there, but I didn't. I was like, I don't know why I didn't put it in there. I think because like I don't want to talk about the entire movie because you've got a spoiler cast to do for that when that comes out.
Oh God, yeah. Like, yeah, that was weird.
Also, it's very Fifth Element-y, but
Oh, I'm hyped. So I guess that's another week. And we'll be back, of course, for another podcast rather soon. Hopefully, the news doesn't dry up and it just keeps on, pouring in on us. Sort of like.
Are these intentional Aquaman puns?
Yes.
Yeah. You said that first one. I'm like, this is on purpose, isn't it?
You know, I wasn't gonna sink with this one. I really want to float at the end of this podcast.
Like a turd in the wind, in the bowl.
That means listen to our Venom spoiler cast, guys.
Hey, plug. Not that anyone would hear this because it's too far in, but plug.
So to tie all this back around to James Gunn and Suicide Squad 2, we are finished.